All right, what's going on, everybody? This is Dallas, and we're back with Dream Large, Live Larger. Today, we have a very, very special guest. He is one of my earliest business and life mentors. We've been together, we've been through a lot together, and I was actually the VP of sales of his digital marketing agency just a few years back. And now he's a very, very famous recording artist out in the Philippines, man. To get us started today, pretty much I wanted you to kind of explain how you went from business or maybe even from music back in your maybe your high school days. So go from
Mhm.
music, then to business, and then back into music. Can you kind of touch up on a little bit of that?
And for sure, bro. Well, first of all, just bro, congratulations on this podcast, bro. Like, it's exciting to watch your growth. For all of you guys just tuning in, listening to this, Dallas is someone I have a lot of respect for, a really, really close friend. I mean, he's family. But I'm just excited, bro, for all the things that you've accomplished in your life, what you're doing, bro. So that's exciting. So thank you for having me on this show, bro. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, man. So. Oh man, starting back in music, bro. So, back in high school, I was, I've been doing music my whole entire life. Since I was 5 years old. As a kid, I traveled around the world singing, singing classical music. And when I got to high school, I learned like classical music wasn't cool. Like nobody wanted to date the classical singing guy. Um, so, it's funny, like there was a R&B group that came to my school and they performed for us, and I remember watching them, and I would watch even the guys and girls were just going crazy over this band. So I remember looking at my friend. I'm like, "Yo, let's start a band." So we did, and we ended up having one of the biggest boy bands, I guess you could call it,
Yeah.
uh, in Hawaii. We actually had a guy. A lot of you guys know a guy named Bruno Mars. He was in our group as well. And so we did basically everything you could do as far as Hawaii was concerned. We did it. We opened for everybody. We performed with everybody. I got to work with Justin Timberlake, Beyonce, you name it. We got to work with them. I ended up starting a record label when I was 18 years old. I ended up moving to Hollywood. I got signed. So me and Bruno actually moved to Hollywood um, to pursue our dreams, and we ended up both getting dropped from our record label. We were living in a garage, and this is kind of where the business part comes in. We were living in a garage, and I was super broke. The guy's garage that I was living in, a friend of mine, he was actually at the time working for the mortgage industry, right? And that's when like mortgages were like crushing it. And he was like 17 years old, like 16 or 17, and the dude was making $40,000 a month. And I was like, fuck, who the hell makes $40,000 a month, right? At 17 years old. So he's like, yo, come work for me, or come work for my company. So I did. I worked for his company, and I was like, yo, they should be doing this in Hawaii. Long story short, uh, I talked my boy into actually starting our own mortgage company. And really within 1 year, based on the timing and a lot of the sales techniques and things that I learned from being in LA, we built a multi-million-dollar mortgage company. So that was insane. Probably one of the best times of my life, man. It was crazy to go from just being like a musician that I was the guy who was like, I'll never own a company, I'll never work. I'd rather be sleeping on the streets and just focus on music. I realized that wasn't cool to do. You don't want to be broke anything. You know what I'm saying? So so that kind of launched my business career, man. And through that, when the industry crashed, the mortgage industry crashed, which was crazy, right? I always joke I went from being a mortgage broker to just broker. Lost a lot of money, but I found at that point, my mind already expanded, and they say when your mind expands, it can't go back, right? So I already saw what it was like to be an entrepreneur. I already saw what it was like to taste $1 million, to be able to have that lifestyle. When you taste it, it's like, when dogs taste blood, right? You just have to go out there and you have to get it. So I was introduced to the industry of network marketing, believe it or not, network marketing back in 2008. And I learned the concept of residual income. And that to me right there, I was like, shit, I'll never do anything in my life that doesn't spit me residual income. And then from there, I was able to build myself a nice business career. I owned a few different companies, everything from an identity theft compliance company to, you know, um, mortgage company. And then also, like you mentioned earlier, an advertising agency. Which was crazy because I remember Dallas, you and I, when we started the ad agency, there was just the two of us. We didn't know what we were doing. Like we had no experience in advertising. But, it just goes to show when you understand wealth principles and you understand business principles, it really doesn't matter what you do, because it's all kind of the same. If you can find the right people or find the right resources around you, you can really start any business, unless you're trying to start maybe, a law firm or a dentist office. But really, that was pretty amazing, what we were able to accomplish in our advertising agency. And what was crazy is that we didn't just start an ad agency. We actually became one of the fastest growing ad agencies in Hawaii. We won 8 awards, American Advertising Awards, which was insane because there's companies that have been around for 30 years that they don't even get nominated for one, let alone win 8. And then, a few years later, I was reflecting, right? I was kind of reflecting on my life. And I remember sitting in a jacuzzi, of my penthouse. I'm just kidding. but it was cool. No, we actually were able to buy a penthouse, which is very cool. But I remember sitting in the jacuzzi and I was like, is this the life that I want? Like, do I really want to be 40 years from now a top advertising executive in Hawaii? There's nothing wrong with it, but it just wasn't what I wanted. That wasn't my dream. My dream was still to see the world, be a musician, but impact the world. Like, I think we all should have a mission statement, and that was kind of my mission statement. Like, I wanted to leave an impact. I wanted to inspire the world. So I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna take a trip around, or I'm gonna take a trip and I'm just gonna travel for the next 2 years. I'm just gonna travel. Sold everything I had, kept a few clients, and I found myself in the Philippines. And when I got here to the Philippines, I thought to myself, wow, this is cool. I'm gonna sit on a beach, I'm gonna sip a cocktail, and I'm gonna work online because I was doing online coaching at the time.
Okay.
And a good friend of mine out here he's a pretty popular musician. Was like the only guy I knew. Maybe the 1 or 2 people here in the Philippines when I came here. And he's like, hey bro, there's an artist, her name is Rian Ramos, she's an actress, and we need someone to produce a song for her. And the producer that was supposed to do it, he couldn't do it. Would you be open to producing a song for her? I said, absolutely. So we connected, produced a song for her, and the song, blew up. It was in the newspapers and everything. And I was offered an opportunity. They heard me singing demos, right? People heard me singing demos. And the largest record label in the Philippines contacted me. And basically, long story short, they offered me a record deal. And I was like, what? Like, I thought to myself, that part of my music career was over, right? Like I'm not 17, 18 years old anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you guys sure? They're like, yeah, we want you as an artist. So I was like, okay, like, fine, let's do it, And I wrote a song. Half of it was in Filipino, or not half of it, like 10% of it was in Filipino. I wrote it with a friend of mine, right? But we called it. It had a Filipino title, even though 10% of it was in Filipino, and it was called "Sana Nandito Ka," which means "Wish you were here," right? And I didn't like. And here's the thing, like, my management and my record label, like, they wanted to sign me, but I found out later, like, they didn't really believe that I was gonna do well, right? And the song ended up actually just recently over 1 million streams on Spotify, which is insane, right? And like I got on like 8 playlists in Spotify. Like, the song blew up. I've been able since then to do collaborations with some of the biggest artists in the Philippines. I've been featured over 60,000 um, followers on the largest streaming app here in the Philippines, and it's been going crazy. You know, like I've been doing a lot of YouTube covers. I just released I'm releasing my first real music video here, shot by the top director here in the Philippines. So it's crazy, like the journey that I went on from like business. Well, started with music, started with my dream, right? I never gave up my dream, and sometimes the road to your dream is never the way it seems in your head, right? Like we all like have this idea of like, okay, here's my goal, here's where I'm starting, this is how my journey is going to look like. And my journey went all over the freaking place. But you know what was cool is like I'm still ending up being able to do what I love.
Yeah.
You know? Wow. So I know that was a very long,
that's great
answer. But
no, man, that's great, man. Thank you for sharing that story, man. You have one of the most impactful stories of anyone I've ever met. And the cool part about it, bro, is like I've known you for that period of time, and I've known you so close. We were together every single day, and it's so inspiring for me to look up to somebody like that, where you always did the right thing, and it was always like you always had fun. So it was like you were doing the right things in business, you make the right choice, your companies always grew, but then it was always fun. I never had a dull moment with you, man. And I just love hearing your story, because even when we kind of drifted apart and you went to the Philippines, you're still doing what you love to do. You don't ever dictate your life and have someone else tell you what to do. You know what I mean? It's just 100%. You're always doing what you love to do, and you're always doing what you want to do, and I really respect that, man. That's great. So
thank you.
Kind of pull back from the music side. Let's go back to a little bit on the business side. So now that we kind of figure out the reasons why you had opportunities, right? So you're the kind of guy where if you have like a great opportunity in front of you, you'll take it, right? And so with business, I guess my next question would be like, which company were you like most proud of? Because of you were involved in so many businesses, like you said, network marketing, which is the MLM, and an advertising agency. You had your mortgage broker business. So which of those were you most proud of?
Man, like if I had to pick, I would say my mortgage company, because I was proud of my mortgage company, not only because I took it from $0 to $1 million within a year. Over $1 million within a year. I was proud of it because that unlocked the hidden potential that I had in myself to do business. Because I never thought I was a business guy, because I was real shitty in school. Like I remember when I took a test to get into private school in high school, my elementary teacher told my mom, I shouldn't even take a test. Just forget about it. Don't waste my time, because I'll never get into these private schools. Like she told me that. And you know what? I don't blame her. like I would think the same thing. Like I don't even know how I got in, right? And I almost flunked. I almost didn't pass school. And the reason why is at the time I thought like it just wasn't for me. Like I couldn't be a critical thinker. You know what I'm saying? Like. And I just realized I just wasn't passionate about it, So starting my mortgage company and being in LA and being around other hustlers, like when you surround yourself with like high level thinking people that are like you can't help but adapt to your environment. I think that's a key takeaway. You know what I'm saying? Like if I stayed in Hawaii, for sure, I wouldn't have accomplished what I accomplished. Like I had to move to LA. I had to be put in a situation that like you have no option. When failure is not an option, success is inevitable. Like you have to be able to achieve success if failure is not an option for you. And it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So that to me, I was the most proud of that company, because I was able to help tons of people earn a lot of money, and it unlocked this like pure potentiality that each and every one of us have. And I was able to recognize that, and not only just see it in myself, but now I can see it in other people,
Great, man.
But I'll say this, like, I'm super proud of everything that I've done, because every company that I've done, I've put in my heart and soul into it, Definitely. And but I think like because that was the first. It's like, you always kind of remember your first, you know, everything, right? So
Definitely, man. Hey, man, that's a great answer. And like I said, I've got to watch you grow in a couple of these, and it's just so inspiring, to watch you put 120% in everything you do, And so it was great to watch and learn from you. And so I guess you've kind of touched up on it already, but my next question was going to be, which of these companies did you make the most money with? But you're saying over here went from zero to over $1 million. I'm assuming that's it. Definitely.
Yeah, bro. I would say the mortgage industry, because the money in the mortgage industry, I mean, like, it was like, we were joking, right? Like Leonardo DiCaprio and Back to Wolf of Wall Street. Like, that's what I felt like. I felt like I was Jordan Belfort. There was a movie. Yeah, bro. Like, there was a movie called Boiler Room that was actually based off of Jordan Belfort, which before Wolf of Wall Street. Mm-hmm. And it tells the story not from Jordan Belfort's perspective, but from someone that worked in his firm, right? And like, I probably watched that movie 1,000,000 times, no exaggeration. You know what I mean? Like, no exaggeration. And like, the amount of money that was made in the mortgage, it's insane. It was crazy.
Crazy, man. Yeah, that's a lot of money. We're talking 7 figures. And can you share how old you were again?
I started the company when I was 22. By 23, we were already making multi-million.
7 figures at 23 years old, man. That's that attitude you have. I'm going to put all of my effort. I'm going to give it all I got into everything that I do. And that's the result. That's always going to be a result. Success will always be a result. If you're the type of person to give 99%, I don't think that you would have done it, right? There's
no way, bro. There's no way. Like, there's been times when I've tried to do multiple things, or, and like, you'll do well. I mean, you can still do well. I mean, there's ways to multitask and but it's like, you need to find that cash cow that you can put your 100% in first. It's like, get it off the tarmac, right? Like they say, like if you need to get a jet or an airplane off of the tarmac into the sky, it has to be at 100% throttle. Once it's there at 100, you can start pulling back, right, on the reins, because you're gonna burn out if not. So, it's finding that, like, you can look at a number of different business ventures and you can try certain things out and you test it out. But when you find out one thing, go all in. Go all in, just put that time in, and you don't have to stop everything else, but just give it that equal amount of time or energy, I guess, per se, right? It's like, if you work a full-time job, right, like 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, then you got to put in that 6 to 1 in the morning equal, right?
Yes. Man, that's a great answer. I love that you share that. That tip, guys, is so huge. I hope you guys replay that and listen to it again. If you're starting something off, you want to go full throttle, because if not, you'll never take off, right? So sure. I love that advice, man. Thank you for that. That's huge. Okay.
Sorry.
No, yeah.
And it's okay to test it out. It's okay to, like, right? Because some people, they won't even start because they're like, well, I don't have 100% of my time to put into it. It's like, no, test it out. Find what's going to make you the money. When you realize that, oh shit, like this could be it, then like, you're not going to be fully successful until you put in your 100%. But, don't wait until you're like, oh, well, I'm going to wait till like all my ducks are in a row, because ducks never line up in a row, right? I'm not gonna take a trip because I'm gonna wait for all the lights to be green so I can just, like, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah.
There's no way. Yeah. Okay. All right, man. So I guess I got another question for you, and for your business side. So, like, okay, let's say we go back in the future, right? If you could go back, to any time of your life, and you could restart one company from scratch, like, you had so much fun building it, what company would you choose and why?
Okay, well, I don't want to beat the dead horse, but bro, I would seriously go back to the mortgage company, and what I would do differently is I would hustle 10 times harder.
Okay.
Because it was my first company, and I didn't experience. I didn't experience that amount of money before. Like, to me, like, it was just gonna be on. Like I thought I made it, right? Like when I went there and I killed it right for the first year. I took my foot off the gas too fast. So I was still in cruise control. I was partying. I was like living it up in penthouses, $2,000 a night. I was flying around on private jets. I was in the Maldives. Like I was like balling out of control. I was making money, but you know, we had the mortgage, the we had the mortgage crisis that happened.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And
The Big Short,
like,
the movie.
yeah, The Big Short.
Yeah.
So I was like, shit, like if I only worked harder, if I only worked more aggressively, like I could have been, like I was making $1 million, no, I was making a few $1 million a year. But when the industry crashed, like I had to work 100 times harder just to make the same amount of money. And I was like, oh my God, like I didn't know it was possible to do the numbers that we were doing. Meaning like when the industry crashed in 2011 or 2010, right? When the industry started crashing, we were still making the same amount of money, but instead of doing 10 loans a month, we were doing 100 loans a month. Oh. If I did 100 loans a month when I first started, I would have been making $6 million a month.
Dang.
A month.
So much money.
You know what I'm saying? So like, if I could go back in time, like that was a powerful lesson. It's like, if you have an opportunity, go crazy. Like, don't take your foot off the gas, because you don't know, tomorrow's not promised.
Yes.
Like, look at COVID. The whole world changed. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Overnight, the whole world changed overnight, right? We don't know what's going to happen to us tomorrow. So if you have an opportunity, go all out. Like, that was my mistake. I was like, oh, I'm going to party. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm young. I'm going to make money forever. You know, like, bro, that was a rude awakening, bro. That was a rude awakening.
So can you say that maybe you can agree with this? Success in business is all about timing. Can you say that? Because it sounds like you came in at the right time and you made a whole bunch of money, made the millions, and then all of a sudden something hit and the timing was wrong, and then, you know, the whole industry crashed. You know, can you touch up on that a little bit? Is that, can you agree on that timing?
Yeah, you know, they always say that T in timing is better than a T in talent, right? So I do agree that timing has a lot to do with something, right? Like it's not a good time right now to start a blockbuster video. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember those blockbuster video? Like it's not a good time right now to launch a Xerox copying machine company.
Yes.
Or, you know, like, so, or a pager company, right? So like timing, I know those are silly comparisons, but like timing is so important in business. Like, you know, you want to figure out where people are going and then get there before them. But you can also make money when people are already there. It comes down to your systems that are in place, right? I think systems are just as important as timing. Okay. Because if you understand how to generate business at the right time, like it's good. Like I actually started in the mortgage industry late, believe it or not. Like when I got started, people were already saying like, you're too late for doing it. Like, bro, perfect example. When you and I did the advertising industry, people thought I was crazy for starting it. Yeah. They're like, it's too late. The industry's not good anymore. Yeah. No one can make money doing it. And we were taking out some of the biggest companies because like it was already saturated. Like all those guys were too expensive, and we would come in, you know, just the two of us. Yep. Our overhead wasn't high at the time, right? Yep. And we could take in a lot of these deals based off our raw talent, based off your sales prowess, right? Like we were good at sales, so we were able to bring in clients, and we could back it up, you know, with the talent as well. So yeah, timing is super, super key, but also implementing the right systems to have customer acquisition is also very key.
Dang. Yeah, that's great advice again, man. I'm so glad you're on the show, man. A lot of people are gonna get a lot of great information on this, and you know, I hope you guys go out there and use it, and you know, like you said, give it your 100%. So, okay, let's take a break from the business side, and you know, we all know that you're you're one of the most popular recording artists right now. It's hot right now. You got the music video coming out, you got the record deal, you got everything. So let's talk about a little bit about that. So, what is it like? Is there money, as being a celebrity in the Philippines? Because we're mostly familiar with Hawaii, the USA. So, what is it like being, overseas and being a celebrity there?
It's crazy, bro. Like I've literally like I think this month makes a year that I was actually signed
Mhm,
to my record label.
mhm.
You know, and yeah, I mean, you can make a ton of money up here in the music industry. I mean, right now during COVID, there's really not a ton of money actually because the way the industry is in general with music is that money is made right now in performances. Money is made by events or different corporate events or whatnot. And due to COVID, like in the Philippines, everything's shut down. So, off of music sales, back in the day, it used to be record sales, right? So like, because it wasn't digital, people would have to buy it and, you make a lot of money with record sales. Now it's digital. So there's not a lot of money for digital sales, although because it's easier to buy, you get your name out there more. You get your song out there more. So you get more requests to do performances. So to answer your question, I mean, yes, there's a lot of money in the music industry here in the Philippines. Like celebrities, the musicians. I mean, they're the highest paid
Oh, okay.
here in the Philippines. They make more money than CEOs and doctors and attorneys here.
Mhm.
But right now during COVID, it's rough.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's but like again, everything is timing, right? So like live streaming is big now. People are doing live streaming.
Yeah.
People are doing events. So the artists that have been able to adapt,
Mhm.
they're making money. They're positioning themselves. So when it opens up,
Yeah.
it's gonna blow up. There's a lot of artists that just kind of gave up. They're just like, oh man, I'm screwed. Like I can't do anything, and they're just gonna sit around and wait. But the artists that are adapting to the new normal or whatever you want to call it, doing podcasts, doing interviews,
Yeah.
performances, like they're the ones that are still making money. So yeah, there's a lot of money to be made up here
Nice, man. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
for sure.
So kind of, I kind of want to stay here for a little bit, and
For sure.
so let's just say, we're facing this pandemic right now, and let's just say, like maybe let's just use our imagination here, right? It's hypothetical. Say next week there's a cure, there's a vaccine, and COVID just goes away by next week. Are you going back to performing in concerts? What's your next move as a singer? What's your next move?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm definitely gonna be out there performing in concerts. I'm gonna be what's cool is that because of COVID, I've actually had to my career has actually moved forward because I was an early adapter to streaming,
Hmm.
right? I was an early adapter to online performances, and I was able to build myself a nice following because I adapted before everybody else did. So um, by doing so, I've been able to do collabs with some of the biggest artists here in the Philippines. Like I actually have another collab coming out on YouTube with one of the biggest actresses here, singers. So yeah, man. I mean, it's been good. I mean, I don't like to use the term like COVID's been good to me because COVID's an awful thing, man, and it's hurt a lot of people. But what COVID has done, it's put people back at the starting line, right? Like it's taken the world and it's brought us like, okay, guys, we're gonna run the race again, right? So everybody kind of like is back to like the starting line.
Yes.
Some people are waiting for COVID to be over to start their race. Some people are like, yo, I'm gonna start running now. I know it's harder to run now. I know it's tougher. I know I'm not gonna be able to run as fast, but you know what? I'm gonna get a head start. So like I've been fortunate to get that head start. So I mean I'm definitely gonna be out there performing, traveling,
Yeah.
trying to do as much as I can.
Are you currently in the studio, or did they shut that down? What are you working on now?
Yeah. So I was in the studio. They shut it down. So I actually built a studio here in my house. So I
Of
have a
course, man.
full.
Not surprised, man. Not surprised.
You need it. I needed it, bro. Like like I had to figure it out, and so I have a full blown studio here. And it's funny. It's funny because now I'm actually making money because people are coming here and recording here. So I didn't expect that. I built the studio just for myself,
Yeah.
but now it's being rented out, so I'm able to make money.
You have the
Off
best
that, yeah, it's
ideas,
cool.
man. You got the best ideas, bro. Oh man. So when all this music, maybe the performing side is over, are you thinking you're gonna get back into business, or now that you're saying this, maybe possibly get into managing, right? What do you think? What are you gonna get into?
Yeah, well, so I've already I've connected with a management company here. So I'm actually consulting with them up here. Although and they're actually my management company too. But I told them that I don't want to manage yet because I want to focus on being an artist as far as the music business is concerned. But also, man, I'm still working in business. I have a lot of connections in the U.S. So we're focused on launching things here in the Philippines, which is very cool.
Okay.
Online businesses. So I'm still in the network marketing arena. I still own uh, companies in the U.S. that
Okay.
spit me out dividends as well. That I'm still working on. It slowed down a little bit because of COVID, but it's still I'm still blessed to be out here and able to earn money from it. So, bro, I'm all right, like the rock star businessman, right? Like that, we always joked about that, like rock star businessman, because like to me, it's like I've always wanted to do both. I've always wanted to do business, and I've always wanted to be a musician, right? And to me, like failure is not an option, bro. Like I'm gonna keep going until I hit my goals. So I'm super passionate. I love music. I'm also super passionate. I love business. I love opportunity. I love the grind. I love like looking for an opportunity. So it's like, I've been blessed to make a lot of connections here during COVID, right? A lot of business owners, a lot of top musicians, and so I've been able to bring companies here to the Philippines, and like just that alone, I mean, that's going crazy right now. Like I've been working a lot with Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, forex, stocks. I mean, so like it never stops, man. The grind never stops. You know that, bro. I mean, like you know, I've spent my whole life preparing for my whole life.
Yeah. I love your quotes, man. I love your quotes, man. Oh man, one of my favorite ones you ever your quotes were this thing made so much sense. I went home, I cut my head open, I pulled my brain out, and it still made sense, man. It was a no-brainer. I'll never forget that quote, bro. Never, man. It's one of my best quotes. I'll never forget it.
Right? I love that.
Got
Yeah,
some good
man.
ones. You got some good ones.
You
So
gotta have those one-liners ready at all times.
at all times, dude, you're always prepared for a joke, and that's what I love, man. We always made it fun,
Bro, that's true, man. I mean, I loved that was like my favorite thing working with you, bro. Because I mean, you're a beast. Obviously, everyone that watches this, if you guys don't know that, I mean, Dallas is an unreal salesperson. Is an unreal worker, and not saying worker as in like working for someone. He's just an unreal like worker. Like he works. You know what I'm saying? Like he goes out. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty and freaking pound the pavement, make the calls. But what's so crazy about Dallas is like it's always fun. Like half the day we're laughing and half the day we're making money. You know what I'm saying? Or all the whole day we're making money. Majority of the time we're laughing while we're doing it.
Yeah.
And it's just exciting. It's just fun to do it, man. Like the office is boring when he's not in there, you know?
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay. So here's a kind of like a little question here. What do you think? What do you think the three most important qualities of an entrepreneur, but maybe even like a successful musician? Like, what do you think are the to you, your opinion, what are the three most important qualities that all successful entrepreneurs or musicians need to have in order to become successful? What do you think?
You have to. I mean, there's obviously like a never give up. Like as cliche as that sounds, because it's like you never know when it's going to happen for you.
Yeah.
Like you have to keep going. You gotta just go after it. You have to be non-negotiable on what it is that you want.
Yeah.
That's one.
Okay.
The second quality I think it's important to have as far as being successful in business and or or music or whatever it is,
Yep.
is that you have to take responsibility.
Okay.
You can't blame other people for your losses. Like, even if it's out of your control, at the end of the day, it's still your life, so it's still your responsibility, right? Like you'll never hear me have a failure, and I've had a lot, and blame somebody for my failure. Never. Like like that'll never come out of my mouth.
Yeah.
It's always my fault.
Mm-hmm.
It's always my fault.
Yeah.
When you take full responsibility for your life, then you have control over your life.
Mm-hmm.
When you blame somebody else, you're giving them a power. You're giving them power. You're giving away your power. When you blame circumstances, you're basically saying, I have no control over my life. I have no control over my circumstances in my life. And when you realize that you do have control over your life, right? Like when you have like pure potentiality, power inside of you to control everything,
Mm-hmm.
guys, like that's when everything changes, you know? So yeah, so never giving up, having 100% responsibility. And then the last thing is like setting real, vivid goals, targets. Because without a target, you won't hit anything.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like you need to be specific on what you want, not necessarily how you're going to get there. You just have to be specific on that end goal. Like, what is that end goal? Write it down, put it on your wall. Like, I still put up shit. Like, like be super specific on what it is that you want, and then look at that every single day. Figure out how you're gonna get it. Move one step closer to it. Because even if you fail, you've just figured out one way that it doesn't work, right? And that's okay. Because now you have that, you've eliminated that, and now you can go after the other ways of ways that it might work.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So setting your goals, right? Setting your goals, but these goals need to be super specific, right? You can't be what like Zig Ziglar, right? A wandering generality. You have to have a meaningful, specific goal. Okay, that's number one. Number two is take responsibility for every fucking thing that happens in your life. Everything that happens in your life, take responsibility for it. It's all your fault. And last but not least is just don't give up.
Yes.
Like, I think I'm too stubborn to quit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm too stubborn to quit. And people are just like, bro, it's stupid, it's wasting your time. Like, I'm the guy that's like, I'm gonna keep trying. Even if I fall off a cliff, I'm gonna keep walking until I find it. Like that could be a negative or a positive to certain people.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm just too stubborn to like, even when things look like it's not gonna work, whatever, I'm gonna keep going. Right? Because if I believe it in my heart, like I have to somehow find a way to manifest it. Right? Like when I make a decision to do something, you know this about me, right? Like I'm gonna look at different things, and like things look exciting. I'm like, oh, it looks cool, it's cool. But when I actually find something that I'm just like, yo, I'm gonna take this shit and I'm gonna freaking drive it down to Chinatown, right? Like I'm gonna go all in with this. Like it's game over. Like it's either gonna happen or I'm gonna die trying. Like Will Smith says, right? If we get on the treadmill, yep, and we go up against each other, he's either gonna win or he's gonna die trying to win. Like there's no in between. You know what I'm saying? So those are the three things I feel you need to be successful, whether it's in business, whether it's in music, whatever it is,
mm-hmm,
in life, sports, whatever it is. Like those are the three things that are important to me.
Thank you for sharing that, man. I really appreciate it. Those are like three very important things, and I feel like I use in my career as well. And I just love that quote you said where, if you don't have a target, you're gonna keep missing, right? If you don't have a specific target, you're gonna miss. I love that, man, because some people, right? They know that they want to get into this industry, or they know they want to do this or that, but they don't have a specific goal at the end of what they want to exactly accomplish, like maybe in numbers and a date and specific time. Then you're right, man. They could keep shooting and missing because there's no target, So I love that quote, man. I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure, brother.
Since we're on this topic, do you have anything else that you wanted to share in terms of like maybe a small tip, something maybe not as important, but something small that you think is overlooked, and maybe that'll help some of our listeners out there. Do you have any small tips or anything else that you wanted to share?
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing that I have that like it's this like learning the skill of selling. I think like the skill of selling, whether you want to be a musician, whether you want to be an athlete, no matter what you do in life, like learn how to sell, right? Like get a course. Jeffrey Gittimore, he's a sales coach. I mean, there's tons of sales coach. I mean, Grant Cardone. I mean, anybody, you can YouTube it. It's free, but like be intentional on learning how to sell yourself, learning how to sell your business, learning how to sell your music, because it's like, I'll give you an example. Let's say someone's really good at cutting hair. Okay, they're really good. They're the best. So what's the next obvious choice for them? They're going to be like, okay, well, I work at Supercuts. I'm bringing in all the business. I'm getting all the clients. I might as well start my own business. So they start their own business, and now they have no clients because they don't understand marketing. They don't understand how to sell. The dance instructor, the best dancer, right? Best dancer in Hawaii, amazing. Starts his own company, but now he can't get any clients. Or COVID happened, he can't leave. He doesn't know how to sell online. He doesn't know how to generate. So like even for music, right? Like for me, I attribute a lot of my getting to where I'm at in music because I know business. I know how to sell. I know how to market myself. Like I know how to pitch myself. I know how to pitch my music because I understand the psychology of people. Like when I'm sitting in front of record execs, like I'm going to sell myself because nothing happens. My father told me, right? Nothing happens in this world until a sale is made. Nothing. You need to sell yourself to get out of bed. Everything happens because someone sold that person, right? And either someone sells you on why you can't do it, or you sell them on why you should do it. And if someone sells you on why you shouldn't do it, then that means they're a better salesperson than you. Mm-hmm. So that stuck with me, right? So again, you can incorporate sales to every aspect of your life. Selling yourself to go to the gym, selling yourself to eat more healthy. Learn how to sell. It's gonna help you.
Man, that's so crazy. That's literally the same thing that I use in my everyday life as well. Like selling is huge, and like that's one advice that I would give anyone. And it's the ability to sell, and it doesn't mean necessarily selling a product or like pitching somebody on something, but even the point of just working on like you said, convincing myself to go to the gym, right? Giving myself good selling points to why this would be, this would better my life, right? And so selling is huge. I use that in my everyday life, as you know. And, I honestly can say I learned a lot of my sales skills, techniques from you, man. So I appreciate it. Thank you,
bro. Bro. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
And that means a lot to me, bro, because you're amazing at it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's a few key people that I know on. Like when I find a business opportunity, this. Yeah. Like Dallas is one of the first 5 people that I called. It's Dallas, and at the time, if he's available, if it sounds good for him, he takes it. If not, it's not. But like we all have these people in our lives that it's like their skill set. It's kind of like to me, like Dallas is like one of the guys in the Avengers for me. It's kind of like all the Avengers, like they're good on their own, like they're fucking superheroes, right? But like when the world's in danger, it's like, okay, who can I count on, right? Or who do I want to go to war with? And Dallas is by far one of them because I know his mindset. I know the way he thinks. Like, it's non-negotiable. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I appreciate that.
Thank you, too. I appreciate that. Okay, so, we're going to close it out here. Is there any last things you wanted to share or anything that we could look forward to, you in the future?
Yeah, man. I mean, I have a YouTube channel,
Okay.
so that's one thing that I've been trying to like. I think that to me has been the hardest thing that I've been trying to break through. Like I have a YouTube channel. I haven't got, I've been trying to push that for a little over a year,
Mhm.
and like to me, I want to have 1 million subscribers. Like that's my goal, right? I'm putting out there, and like in 1 year, I'm like, I'll probably end the year at like 10, 11, 12,000 subscribers, which is okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. But like, it's nowhere where I want to be. So like, guys, check out my YouTube channel, Foreigner in the Philippines. It's vlogs, it's my music. But that's just one thing that like, I'm really passionate about to try and push. But yeah, I mean, other than that, guys, I mean, following me on social media. I do a lot of things on social media, whether it's business, whether it's my music.
Where can they find you on social media? What's your handle?
Yeah, so on Instagram, it's Kuya Steel. I believe it's Kuya Steel. Just
Yeah,
sorry,
we can get it.
I
We
don't know
can
if I put
get
it Kuya underscore Steel or just Kuya Steel.
it. I think
But
it's cool still. Yeah.
yeah, Kuya Steel. So Kuya is older brother in Filipino, right? In Tagalog.
Nice.
So I mean that's the other thing, right? Like learning how to speak Tagalog here in the Philippines. That's a whole other. Um,
Do you have to sing? Do you have to sing in Filipino too?
I do, bro. I sing in Filipino. Like, if you go to my YouTube channel, I sing some of the hardest songs in Filipino. Like, I challenge myself every week to try. Like, my
Hey,
goal is
if
to
it's
learn
already,
Tagalog.
hey man, if it's already in your YouTube channel, do you think we could get a little acapella here? Do you think we can get something, a little song, or even
Oh
in English?
man,
Could we get it? Because you're so talented, bro. Like you're one of the most talented singers. You're one of the most powerful voices I've ever seen in my life, and I got to listen to you in person. So I mean, if it's up to you, but I mean, if you can share even a verse or something, something maybe you're working on, and that'd
okay,
be amazing.
yeah, for sure. So, I'll share with you the um like the first verse and chorus of um my song right now that's blowing up on
Nice. We
Spotify as
got
of
him, guys. We got him. We got him.
I'll do a little verse and chorus. It's acapella.
Got it.
It's cool. But again, this song is called Sana Nandito Ka.
Mhm.
It's available on Spotify, YouTube, and I have a new song coming out. It's in full Tagalog, that's why I won't sing it. But it's music videos dropping very soon. So this is so okay. um, used to like all things I post. Mm, never worry about who you love the most. My face on your screen. That is the way it used to be. Oh, I used to be. Now you don't choose me. Sana nandito ka. Wish I could hold you, but you are just too far. Sana nandito ka. Wish kasama ka pa. There you go. Sana nandito
Well,
ka.
like I said,
Acapella.
guys, one of the most powerful voices I've ever got to listen to.
Yeah, man.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
bro.
much,
Thank
Jason.
you.
I really appreciate that because you've been successful in so many things, but you still stuck with your passion, and it's because of how good you are at it. And so I
Thank you.
admire that about you, man. And I'll always look up to you, man. And thank you for everything that you've helped me with in life, and you've helped me with more than you know. Um, even
Sure.
subconsciously thinking about things that we worked on that you've helped me with, and I apply it to my everyday life. I do. I really do, man. So I really appreciate you. And I really wanted to thank you for everything. And I really thank you for taking the time out of your day in a different country to come here and be on my new show, man. I really appreciate
Yeah,
that.
it's cool, man.
Yeah, man.
It's amazing what technology can do, man.
Yeah,
Thank you, bro.
for sure, dude. Okay, so I mean, you guys know how to find him. You got the YouTube channel, social media. If you guys have any questions, just contact him directly. Or if you guys have any questions about me, contact me directly. And with that, this is Dream Large, Live Larger, and we're out. Thanks again, Jason. We appreciate it, man.